Hi there, I'm the Lady of Nemesis and welcome back to Mask of the Betrayer. Last time we healed the forest of Ashamwood. One of the witches had become enslaved by the power of the forest itself and attacked us. Thankfully we were able to defeat her and the creatures she summoned, and we were finally able to speak to the woodman. He revealed that our curse had been made by a dead god, but even he could not say which one it was. We returned to Malcentir afterwards and spoke to Shiva Whitefeather about what had transpired. She was thankful for our aid. Now we will need to speak to the Hag Coven and learn what they know of our curse.
This curse smells of a god's touch. I should have realized it. And a dead god, of which there are few. No, I could not venture to say. Many of the gods are petty, both the living gods and the dead. Their punishments have been known to outlive them. And perhaps you suffer from such a punishment somehow gone awry. If that is the case, this curse was not originally meant for you, but for another. Gladly. If I have the answer, it is yours. I come from the slopes of Celestia. My heritage is evidenced in my wings and my eyes.
I noticed that. Your eyes are like mirrors, which makes them doubly pleasing to me. It allows me to admire my reflection without need for a looking glass.
I see.
I hope you can, with eyes like that. I'm a lot to take in at once, so feel free to study me at length if you must. I am used to such attention. Such fire to your words, they burn me. Quick, get the priestess to fan me with her wings.
Are you making light of me?
I would never do such a thing. Although with eyes like yours, do you know what light is?
You are strange. There is much about your heritage that evidences in your behavior.
I am curious what this ebony-eyed creature of the slopes of Celestia sees in a humble hag spawn such as I. Pray, priestess, continue.
Very well. I see that your feet find the patterns of dirt and sand beneath them uncomfortable, as if you are used to stepping in dreams, not earth. You toss about words like a wind around you, in the hopes that their speed and flurry will deflect questions and prevent you from being seen for what you are. You are hurt, Ganiev of Dreams, and that pain drives you to hurt others, for you have been taught that that is the wheel that turns the world.
Ah, I think your faith has led you astray, and your eyes may not see as deeply as I may have thought. A shame, but no doubt my colors would blind you.
Spectra of color are something I know only from text, not from experience. My eyes do not perceive color as you do. There is only black, white, and little else.
Then you may find Oku easier on the eyes than the rest of us do.
My grandfather once said it was something my belief had chosen, not my blood. I would not call it blindness, but I see the world differently, yes. But I sense the higher planes on you as well. Perhaps it is what called you to the Shadow Plane and the Dead God's Vault. Although I saw it on you when we first met, now that I have studied you, I see it is not the first time you have walked in shadow. My eyes can perceive the spectrum of planes at times, even if the array of colors is lost on them. Your journey marked you, and I sense an absence within you as if your heart was removed. Its pain has faded to be replaced with something new, an affliction seeping into the open wound. Whatever affliction I sense within you that has filled the wound, it feels larger than the wound itself, as if the wound is merely a door. I do not know if Ilmater's blessings will aid you, but the fact you bear such pain is a testament to your strength of will. Gladly. If I have the answer, it is yours. Yes. Part of the tenets of Kelemvor is to comfort the dying, for them to make peace with death. It was once a task that comforted me as well. It is difficult to express, but I will try. Once I was one of the priesthood of Kelemvor, god of the dead. I walked the plains, alleviating the suffering of others. But to face those same spirits, to soothe them and comfort them, only to know that they are bound for a place that torments them, it is not something I understand. In Kelemvor's faith, they teach that death is not something to be feared, that it is part of the natural cycle, but that is not true. If one does not worship the gods, there is much to fear, and no prospects of peace in the afterlife. To comfort a dying child, knowing it is destined to scream eternally in an ever-living wall. A midwife of the plains who has never heard of such a thing as gods, an entire plain of sea wives who farm the sea and seed the oceans to bring about life. To know that they are bound to become stones in the wall of a faithless citadel, crushed together by dogma and ritual that has never once been reflected upon, that never once has been examined for what it is. Yes, the great wall that encircles the city of judgment. Its bricks are souls that never pledged fealty to any god, nor knew that they had to achieve paradise in the afterlife. They are mortared there, crushed together to suffer by archaic law. No matter how good or pure or unselfish they were, it matters only if they followed the proper rituals to a deity, any deity. That is my sentiment as well. Religion is not ritual. It is intended to comfort, to strengthen, not to punish. Is lip service to a god, is that what is important? Or is it the acts and belief that matter? My conscience cannot be silenced on this. I hear justice. I hear the last words of those who suffer and need comfort. All of these things I hear, always. But beyond them, in the fugue plain, I hear the cries of those dead who lie within the wall, and I cannot forsake them. I would welcome your help, and it lends me strength to know that you are my ally in this. I will fly to them, and I will grant them wings as I have. I shall release them from the curse that their death has become, because it is the right thing to do for one's spirit to be at peace. I believe that only the god of the dead can unmake such a construction. To do so, I must appeal to Kelemvor himself. I led the Second Crusade to tear down this wall. Like the first, it failed, but I still live. It will continue. There was a First Crusade. It too was stalled for a time. The one who led it suffered as I had. That is part of the journey, I feel. My grandfather sought to dissuade me from my efforts with the tale of the First Crusade. I do not think he understood the tale he was telling. Before then, I did not even know that there had been previous attempts to bring down the wall. To realize that others had felt as I did gave me a new strength, new conviction. One mortal sought to cast down the wall and failed, even with an army at his back. His name was Akachi, sometimes known as the Betrayer. Only one question remained in my mind, so I spoke it. Why must the universe be so? Grandfather answered, resolved with, "What is there to be done?" To him it was a statement. To me, it was a question. It is that question that is the torch that leads my way in shadow. I know what must be done. In all things, Grandfather saw process and order and ritual, and that is what he tried to teach me when he told me of the First Crusade. But those are abstracts that orbit a purpose. If the purpose is flawed, what meaning do process and ritual have?
Ah, good. I was hoping we could speak for a moment. It has been some time since I traveled with someone I can trust. As such, I have been more open with you than with others I have had the misfortune to meet in Rashomon. Opening oneself to another touched by the spirits, however, can have other effects. It can open one's inner sight, the eye that one uses while dreaming, the dreamer's eye in the Rashemi tongue. You will notice you see many things clearer than before. You may find yourself finishing others' sentences or shaping their incomplete thoughts. I also suspect this sight will allow you to see the spirits of others easier, should you use your powers on them, and possibly quench your hunger more fully. But that is just speculation. Your dreamer's eyes open now, whether you realize it or not. Even should we be apart, or I should fall in battle, it will remain open. I think you will find the world and those who dream within it to be even more fascinating than before. Of course. Ask what you will, and I will do my best to answer. A little. There is so much to tell. And to think you'd only want to hear the smallest bit of it. I am insulted. What? Do you think I am some sort of long-winded braggart? My, your charm spells seem to be failing one by one. Oh, well now, that is a different matter. I am Ganayev, Gan of Dreams, he who walks in the dreams of the people of Rashomon, especially the passionate dreams of farmers' daughters. I make deals with spirits, speak with the mountains and forests, and tell tales of old that bubble up from the brooks and streams of this land. Now there's a tale. Actually, I was born from no mother or father, but from dream itself. I was conceived as an idea, a stray thought that had to fend for itself in this harsh land. It made me strong, capable, and ruggedly handsome. Indeed, stepped fresh and whole from the sleeping minds of this great land, able to walk in and out of dreams at my whim and my will. Do I look like a hag spawn? Come now. Very well, a game. Now that interests me. And while I despise fairness, I must admit I am slightly curious about you. Not as interesting as I'd hoped. Still, very well. I was born in a city that lies beneath water. Where this city is, I do not know. I see it sometimes in my dreams, but its location eludes me. As do the faces of my mother and my father, if they existed at all. Ah, an orphan. Intriguing. I shall raise you one better. I am an orphan as well. I do not know the fate of my father, but my mother, I believe her to be the one that cast me out. Ironic to give birth to me, then to feed me to the wilds of Rashomon. Not very motherly, but hags are not known for such kindnesses, I suppose. The animals of the world took me in. The dead shepherded the living. It mattered not to them. I learned their speech, their greetings and farewells, the cries of the wild and the whimperings of those lost. To some it is a dirge, to me it is a symphony, and the strains are familiar ones that speak purer than any Rashemi word. There are worse fates, and the more I spoke and bartered with the dead, the more the spirits would come to my aid. My powers grew, and so did the tales of my travels, until every farmer in this dreaming nation held a blade close to their bed, in case I should visit their daughters in the night. No, because I dream of it. It is close, a place of night and flowing water through stones. I feel its presence sometimes, but I do not know if I ever truly wish to return. It cast me out once, and I do not think I would enjoy being treated the same way a second time. And I fear that my mother was not the ruling power there. Oh, I can indeed tell you but a little, for little is all I knew of them. A human for a father, yes. A hag for a mother, yes. But who they were, that is not known to me. Do you think I care? I do not. It is like water running through the streets of an empty city, uncaring, unheard, and unwelcome.
I was hoping there would be a more expedient solution to your curse. A disease that could be cured, or some curse-throwing witch I could disintegrate. But if the Woodman is correct, a dead god is to blame for all of your troubles. From all I've read and all I've heard of the legends of the Spirit Eater, the condition is rather fatal. My best students talk as you do. I tell them something's impossible and they reply with resistance. That defiance will be a strong defense against the curse. What would you like to know? What would you like to know? My mother was the headmistress of the Academy of Shapers and Binders. She was a rather inconsistent parent, sometimes very protective and forgiving, other times strict and callous. I often felt like a valued possession, not a daughter. For as long as I can remember, I've heard whispers, words, shouts, and mutterings, sometimes at a deafening pitch, sometimes so quiet I barely notice. But it's clear that I'm the only person hearing them. For a very, very long time, I thought the voices were a sign that my mind was peculiar at best and fatally unhinged at worst. And before you ask, no, the voices have never taken control of me or forced me into action. Most often, gibberish, fragments of words, sentences so quiet they might as well be a mumble. Still, there is an occasional bit of guidance, dissuading me from foolish mistakes, or warning me when an unscrupulous classmate is trying to deceive me. I've tried every divining cantrip, every scrying spell in the Academy library, and they've told me nothing. The voices seem to be coming from both within and without. Oh, well, usually people associate voices in one's head with raving lunacy. In other words, you're welcome.
Your hunger grows, Spirit Eater. I can smell it on you. I am pleased to see your wits are still about you, for I fear the moment when your hunger takes over. That is a noble sentiment, little one. I will take no pleasure in killing you when that time comes. But it is good that we both realize what must be done. Yes? Your hunger ended Nakata's existence. You have no right to speak her name, Spirit Eater. Apologize. Your words won't bring her back. How tempting it is to tear penance from your flesh and avenge Nakata. But to punish you would be a waste. You are sincere in your apology. Thank you. If you are truly remorseful for your actions, you will strive to control your hunger and never again let it feed upon the spirits of the land.
Come this way.
Eleme Vogreini.
Come on, Malukati!
Indeed.
Fuck